Good morning. An update on Matthew for you right now. Going up the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, expected to move to the north and could potentially make landfall in South Carolina. If not, it is going to be very close. A closer look at the rain across our area, though. Haven't started to see that heavy rain as of yet. Maybe just a few pockets, especially in Brunswick and into Columbus County. Otherwise, just light rain showers. But as we head throughout the rest of the day, this rain is only going to be increasing in intensity. That along with the winds. This is Hurricane Matthew's track as of 3 a.m. Currently, winds are at 105 miles per hour, moving to the north right now at 13 miles an hour. So if it continues to move to the north and doesn't make that northeast turn as quickly as we would like, that's where we could be seeing it potentially make landfall in South Carolina. So a very dangerous situation. Although it is expected to continue to weaken, we're still going to be seeing wind gusts and rain in our neck of the woods. Taking a closer look here, it is going to be staying right off the Cape Fear. That is why we now have the hurricane warnings in effect, flash flood watches in effect. It is going to be a messy day out there as far as the weather goes. Let's take a look at all of our watches and warnings. Flash flood watch in effect for the whole area. Hurricane warnings in effect for the pink counties, and then tropical storm warnings in effect for the orange counties. These are in effect through tomorrow morning, as Matthew is expected to peak throughout the day today and then start to move out later tonight. Across the rest of the coast, we're seeing those watches and warnings all the way from Georgia through South Carolina and into our area. Now let's take a look at what is to come. This is our spaghetti plots here. It does have most of the models still keeping it off the coast. That is very good news for us, but it is going to go up to the north a little bit and then start to make that much anticipated candy corn turn there. So this is our wind probability of 39 miles per hour or greater. We will be seeing wind gusts of 40 miles an hour. That is not a question. The timing of them is going to be the question right now. I think most likely going to be seeing them later this afternoon and into the evening hours. Now this is our wind probability of hurricane force winds, 74 miles an hour. Earlier this week, this wasn't even on the map. Well, now with that tiny shift of Matthew, we are going to potentially see some of those gusts, especially along this coast here of North Carolina. So definitely, and since the ground is so wet, it's not going to be taking a lot to topple trees or power lines. So expect some power outage, and hopefully you are prepared for that as you head throughout the rest of the day. Our pinpoint futurecast forecast model. This is Saturday 3 a.m. We're starting to see that lighter rain across the area, but then we're all looking down to the south because there's heavy pockets of rain, these yellows, oranges, and reds expected to come up as the sun comes up, and we are going to be seeing heavy rainfall throughout the whole day. This is not good news. We could potentially be getting up to 15 inches in some areas. That, along with the already very wet ground, we are going to be seeing potentially life-threatening flash flooding. So be aware. Don't do any traveling throughout the day today. You're not going to be wanting to. The good news is, though, is that Matthew is going to start to move out. This is Saturday at 10 p.m. I think this might be a little bit quick, but still we are going to be seeing those rains let up. But as Matthew does move out, the winds could be picking up. That's when we could start to see potentially those hurricane force winds later today and into the evening hours. But then by Sunday, I think by the time you sit down to eat, you might actually see some sunshine, but those gusty conditions are going to be continuing. Forecasted rainfall here. Look at these totals, many of them in the double digits. This is going to be a very wet day, potentially record-breaking wet day. So definitely flash flooding if you are in low-lying areas. Could be seeing some storm surge as well. Definitely prepare if you haven't already. Forecasted winds right now, or this is Saturday at 8 a.m. We're going to be seeing those gusts, maybe 40 miles an hour, especially along the border of South Carolina, North Carolina. Then Saturday at 12 p.m., look at some of these. Berga, 51 miles per hour. Now, this is just a forecast map, so, not written in absolutely in stone, but still showing you the potential of what we could be seeing. And then putting this into motion Saturday night, like I said, that's when I think we're going to be seeing the strongest of those winds across the whole board, 40 to 55 miles an hour. Now, this model really isn't showing that chance for hurricane force winds, but I definitely do think there is that chance, especially along the coast, really depending on how closely Matthew tracks to the coast. The closer Matthew is, the closer we are going to be getting to those hurricane force winds. The further away he is, the further away we get from those hurricane force winds. But then by Saturday or Sunday at 5 a.m., excuse me, we're going to still see gusty conditions of about 15 to 25 miles an hour, but not going to be anywhere close to those tropical storm and hurricane force winds. So to break it down and to summarize everything for you, our tracks are starting to bring the storm closer to the Cape Fear. Yesterday, the tropical storm warnings were upgraded to hurricane warnings across the coast. That is because that track shifted ever so slightly to the north. The height of the storm is going to be today through early Sunday. It is going to start to move out overnight tonight and then into tomorrow morning. Impacts, the number one impact, definitely going to be flash flooding. Turn around, don't drown. Remember it, do it throughout the next 24 to 36 hours. We're also going to be seeing some wind gusts, potentially tropical or hurricane force wind gusts and storm surge 3 to 5 feet. So another way to summarize it and just give you all of the latest information. Flash flooding, possibly life-threatening. So definitely that is going to be the number one thing for today. Winds, gusts to hurricane force. Could be seeing those down trees and power lines, so be aware and be prepared to deal with that through the next few days. And storm surge, moderate levels, 3 to 5 feet. We are going to continue to bring you all of the latest updates. We have a special edition of GMC coming up this morning from 6 to 8, and we'll bring you cut-ins throughout the rest of the day. Please stay with us here and on social media. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. Another tropical update here as we take a look at Hurricane Matthew moving through the Bahamas and strengthening as the storm does so. We also do have Tropical Storm Nicole sitting out in the Atlantic, not expected to move a whole lot in the next 38 to 48 hours, so not a threat right now. Taking a look, though, this is Hurricane Matthew's track. Currently a Category 4. It was a Category 3 this morning, so as it moves through that warm water of the Atlantic Ocean, it is gaining strength. Currently winds of 140 miles an hour, moving to the northwest at 14 miles per hour. Millibar pressure of 940. So a very strong storm expected to stay strong as it continues to move through those warm waters and to the Florida coast. If you have family in Florida, if you yourself are in Florida, make sure to take the necessary precautions and take those evacuations seriously. A very strong storm moving into that area. There's hurricane watches and warnings all throughout the peninsula, and then as it takes that turn towards along the southeastern coast, still going to be a strong storm, but is expected to lose a little bit of speed. Some good news, but really still a very strong and dangerous storm. And then it's going to be taking that anticipated turn, candy cane turn there, and it's going to be moving into our area. So a little bit closer look here. We are in the cone of uncertainty. Now, people always look at this middle line. The storm does not have to follow this line. It could be anywhere in the cone of uncertainty. Right now, looks like the strongest part of the storm is going to be staying off our coast. That is good news for us, but there is still a little bit of uncertainty where we could see this line shift a little bit and we could be seeing more or less impacts. Let's take a look here though at some models and also what we have going on with our watches and warnings. We have a flash flood watch in effect for these counties in green through Sunday. 7 to 11 inches of rain possible on already saturated ground. Flash flooding absolutely going to be an issue, especially through the day on Saturday. We also have a tropical storm watch in effect for our coastal waters from Surf City all the way down and into parts of South Carolina. So tropical storm watch is what we are expecting at this time. In Florida, though, they have those tropical storm warning or hurricane warnings, excuse me, all the way down the coast. Tropical storm warnings in the orange there. So a very strong Category 4 hurricane expected to hit the peninsula later today and into Friday. This is our European model here. Still has the most of the bulk, the strongest part of the storm staying off down to our south. That is some good news, but do you see how close it is? That's kind of where we could be seeing a little bit of uncertainty with that. And our GFS model here showing the same thing, very close to the coast, but not on the coast, still staying out over the Atlantic. That could be some good news, but we could see this shift a little bit, and if this shifts even 10 to 20 miles up or down that could be increasing or decreasing the impacts that we do see. Tropical tracker, our spaghetti plots here, we can see why there is that little bit of uncertainty. A lot of them are staying off the coast here, but there are a couple of those outliers. One of them goes along the actually part of southeastern U.S. A couple of them have that, and a couple of them are going down. So that's where that uncertainty is coming from. Now, I do think a lot of it, though, is going to be staying off the coast. So that is some minor good news. Wind probability of 39 miles per hour or greater, we're pretty high. I think we're going to be seeing some gusts of 40, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Hurricane force winds, though, I don't know if we're going to be seeing that. Just doesn't look like we will be at this time. This is Tuesday at 11 a.m. here. A 10% chance for that to happen. So I really don't think that we're going to be seeing hurricane force winds, but tropical storm force winds, definitely a possibility. This is our wind field radii here. You can see that red part is 115 miles per hour or greater. That is going to be hitting the coast of Florida. Not a good thing there. And the storm is very wide, and you could still be seeing wind gusts of 39 to 58 miles per hour in this yellow area. So let's take a coast up the coast here in Charleston, 58 to 115 miles an hour. Still a very strong storm that is going to continue. And for us here, you can see that orange actually could potentially be hitting us. So we could be seeing some of those wind gusts of 60, maybe even a little bit stronger in some areas. So definitely wind and rain going to be the main effects that we see. So our pinpoint futurecast has this storm going right up the coast here. Then it's going to continue and move into our area Friday night into Saturday and bringing us very heavy rain. Now the center of the storm does stay off to the Atlantic, but still very heavy rain throughout the from Friday night into Saturday and into Sunday morning. So flash flooding definitely an issue. This is our forecasted rainfall here through the day on Sunday. Right now, this has only got it at 1.6 on Saturday, but then Saturday through Sunday, 6.3. I actually think this being a little bit conservative. I think we're going to be seeing more than 6.3 inches, especially along the coastal regions. So flooding, storm surge, all of that, something that we need to be aware of. Our potential storm impacts here, wind is moderate. We're going to be seeing some wind gusts, rain, the big issue. Flash flooding, we're already saturated. There's not a whole lot of places for that water to go. Tornado, there is a low risk for that. Surge, moderate risk, and then marine risk, extreme, as the bulk of Matthew is going to be staying off the coast. So our tropical summary here, there is still uncertainty in the model, so we could be seeing that track shift up. But if it stays how it is, rain and wind are going to be the main issues that we see here. Timing, though, it's going to start to move in late Friday night, throughout the day Saturday, and then start to move off on Sunday. So what you need to continue to do is you need to continue to prepare as you head a little bit closer. Get your supplies, get your foods, get all your medications and your documents. Also, like us on Facebook, Twitter, follow our website, wwaytv3.com. We are posting updates as soon as they become available on that.